The Premier meets with the PM while canola farmers fear for the future. A second vehicle was shot at Friday night on Highway 39. And a call for FSIN accountability from a First Nation leader.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Following a trade mission to China, Premier Scott Moe met with Prime Minister Mark Carney in Ottawa today to discuss the ongoing trade dispute. Although Moe says he is hopeful both countries can reach a solution, canola producers in Saskatchewan feel the government isn't doing enough. Regina Pats explains.
It's a great pleasure, Premier, to have you here. It's been a pleasure working together over the last 6 months.
As Prime Minister Mark Carney welcomed Scott Moe to Ottawa for a debrief after his trip to China, the real-world impacts are being felt on farmers like Jeff Pizzi.
We'd lost over $1 a bushel just on the futures price alone. So that has definitely had a huge impact on canola price.
With China imposing a 76% tariff on Canadian canola seed, Moe met with China's Ministry of Commerce last week, along with other industry officials in hope of finding a solution. However, with no timeline in mind, Pizzi says he is preparing for the trade dispute to carry over into the next crop year.
We're tightening up all kinds of expenditures. We're not taking on any more debt of any kind. We're not making any big purchases. And we won't be until we see some changes here.
After his visit, Moe says he is hopeful both countries can resolve the trade dispute, as China has extended its anti-dumping study results by 6 months.
The challenge of an industry like the canola industry. It's a $43 billion industry employing 200,000 Canadians. I don't know that we as Canadians can afford to backstop that entire industry. What we need is market access, and then there's no, support conversation that needs to happen. And so what I would hope is there are signals that are being sent.
One public policy expert says trade missions are fundamental to Canada's core economic strategy, helping to strengthen international trade relationships.
This is how you do international business these days. And they're so wrapped up in so many political dilemmas. The Chinese are unhappy with Canada on a number of fronts. They're equally unhappy with the United States. That creates problems and opportunities in almost equal measure.
Moe says working alongside the federal government is a new space for Saskatchewan, allowing the province to determine its own destiny within provincial borders, which will be critical for tackling ongoing trade disputes. Regina Pats, CTV News, Regina.
The investigation continues into a woman's shooting death on a highway near Weyburn. Today, the victim's family is calling for whoever responsible to come forward. CTV's Donovan Mace joins us now live from the newsroom with the latest in the investigation. Donovan.
Yeah, Lee, for the first time today, the family of Tanya Myers is speaking out after the 44-year-old was killed Friday night following a shooting north of Weyburn. Now, in a statement provided by police, the family asking for privacy during this difficult time, describing Tanya as an amazing energy healer and an animal lover with a special fondness for cats, adding they are all in shock and in disbelief, and the loss of Tanya leaves a giant gaping hole in their lives and her cats' lives, and she did not have anything to do with the way she left them. Now, in an update issued earlier this morning, RCMP say a member of the public contacted police over the weekend once they discovered a flat tire on their vehicle. Mounties say forensics determining it was damaged by a gunshot, adding the second driver was also traveling on Highway 39 just outside of Weyburn around the same time of the shooting and may have been closely behind the vehicle Myers was a passenger in, which was also hit by a gunshot. Investigators add they are working to identify several vehicles traveling through the area at the same time and are calling on anyone who may have been shooting guns in the area Friday night to come forward to police.
In relation to somebody being scared, to come forward because obviously they think they're going to be in trouble. Yeah, I mean, that's just a common sense thing. I think anybody who was involved with that, there would be some fear in relation to that. What I would say to that person is, there's a family that's suffering, that suffered a terrible loss. And that person needs to come forward to help give them closure and to understand how and why this happened, whether that is accidental, intentional, whether they knew about it or not. At the end of the day, we need to account and find out the truth as to what happened, how this happened, why it happened.
RCMP add this investigation remains open and continue to request the public come forward with any information they may have. And while there is no immediate public safety threat, police are reminding residents to remain vigilant until more details can be revealed. Lee.
Thank you, Donovan. That's Donovan Mace reporting live for us tonight. Now, Weyburn RCMP have found the individual that was impersonating a police officer on Saturday. Around 10:40 p.m. September the 13th, an individual was driving down a grid road near Mydale when a vehicle slowed up behind them with blue and red lights flashing. Both vehicles would slow down, but the one with the blue and red lights then sped up and fled the scene. The driver of the truck posing as a police vehicle is a youth and cannot be identified. Charges have not yet been laid. RCMP point out this incident is not related to that September 12th shooting on Highway 39. A 21-year-old man from Arcola has been charged with child pornography offenses. On September the 11th, the Saskatchewan Internet Child Exploitation Unit executed a search warrant at a home in Arcola. Several electronic devices were seized. 21-year-old Logan Rem is charged with possession, accessing, and making child pornography available. His next court date, October 22nd in Carlisle Provincial Court. The Crown is calling for a judge's decision to stay impaired driving charges in a Saskatoon girl's death to be overturned, which would send the case back to trial. Taylor Kennedy was charged with impaired driving offenses in connection with the death of Bailey Maurice in September 2021. Kennedy's case was stayed in December, a judge ruling Kennedy was not tried in a reasonable period of time. The Crown is appealing that decision, arguing case complexity and court backlogs were factors in the delay. Kennedy's lawyer says they remain confident the Court of Appeal will uphold the judge's initial decision. The leader of a Saskatchewan First Nation is calling for accountability from an organization that represents more than 70 First Nations across the province as questions about its spending linger. Keenan Sorkon has more.
Too long ago.
Muskeg Lake Cree Nation Chief Kelly Wolf wants answers as a forensic audit is asking the FSIN to explain more than $34 million in expenses.
It's definitely very frustrating, but yet not surprising.
A leaked photo of a forensic audit presentation given to FSIN leadership last week shows questionable, ineligible, and unsupported transactions dating back to April 1st of 2019. $3.7 million is noted as ineligible, more than $30 million as questionable, and more than $155,000 as unsupported.
We want to see accountability, we want to see transparency, and yet it falls on deaf ears. And we ask ourselves, has there ever been a financial scandal like this ever in Canada's history or Indigenous governance history?
More than $23 million of COVID-19 funding is in question, and Wolf hopes there's a good explanation for money that First Nations needed sorely at the time. Another $8 million in administrative fees is under scrutiny, as is fleet vehicle and corporate travel spending. The audit ordered by Indigenous Services Canada is being finalized after first allowing the FSIN to supply added documentation in a June meeting. A summary of the results will be posted online by the end of the month, and if it's similar to what's already been revealed, then Wolf expects to see FSIN Chief Bobby Cameron's resignation.
We need to make an example out of these people who have done our people wrong.
The FSIN did not respond to CTV's request for a comment and refused to allow any questions about the audit at a news conference for a separate matter on Monday. Keenan Sorkon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Sabine joins us now for our first look at weather, and not a bad day in southern Saskatchewan.
There's not much to complain about today. Well, not that anyone complains about the weather, right, Lee?
Oh, never.
It's been a pretty above seasonal day and really uneventful when it comes to conditions or active weather in the province. As you take a look on the radar satellite, there hasn't really been much that's come through. We did see a little bit more cloud cover first thing this morning in parts of southern Saskatchewan, most of it, though, in the northern part of the province. Now, that will change as we get into midweek. We could start to see a little bit of precipitation in the southeast. Very, very little precipitation, nothing like what we saw come through last Friday. Friday, and temperatures still within that above seasonal range. Now, you can see our current temperatures in most of southern Saskatchewan still in the 20s. The average usually is about anywhere between 17 to 19 degrees, depending on where we are in the province. In Regina today, we reached 25 degrees. Now, we will still start to see a little bit of a cool down as we continue through this week, but we're still seeing mostly temperatures in the 20s. And I'll have all the details coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
All right, thank you, Sabine. If you are renting or looking to rent a place, you understand how expensive it can be. As Angela Stewart tells us, the NDP is calling for rent control to be implemented in the province.
Rent hikes are not just hitting the big cities. Prices are also rising in Canada's prairie provinces, including Saskatchewan.
What we have found from this latest report was that Saskatchewan rents on average are $1,461 a month, which is a 4% increase year over year.
A new report from rentals.ca says rent in Saskatchewan continues to rise.
Saskatchewan's been that last remaining hope where we've seen rental increases continuing to go higher and higher. Alberta rents are down 3%. Canada as a whole is down about 1%, but Saskatchewan is a 3% increase.
With the average rental price in Saskatchewan sitting around $1,400 per month for all unit types. The province is still the most affordable to rent in, but prices have risen over the last 3 years.
Rents right now in Saskatchewan are about 28.5% higher than they were 3 years ago, and about 25% higher than 2 years ago. So it just shows how quickly rents escalated, especially the prairie provinces.
Speaking to the media on Tuesday, the NDP says the province needs to implement rent control.
What it does mean is that rent can be stabilized so that tenants aren't suddenly being told their rent's going up 12% this year or 30% this year, and they're not able to afford that.
The NDP says it's seniors and post-secondary students who are struggling with rental hikes.
We had met with some seniors in Saskatoon who they're an elderly couple in their 70s, and they've both had to take on part-time work. They're working in fast food restaurants because on their pensions they can't afford their rent right now.
In a statement to CTV News, the government says a way of dealing with rising rent is to increase rental housing, adding rent control has caused housing shortages wherever it's been implemented and disincentives the building of new rental accommodations. It says it remains focused on increasing housing supply and maintaining affordability. Angela Stewart, CTV News, Regina.
Members of the Regina Peace Council gathered outside the federal building in downtown Regina this morning. The small group called for justice and dignity for all and to honor the sacrifices of the Palestinian people. The group, which is of a few members, is appealing to end what they call a genocide by Israel during the current war in Gaza. The war began after Hamas and its supporters attacked Israel almost 2 years ago and killed more than 1,200 people.
Greetings, everyone. What originally began with a phone call about some possible artifacts is now a museum celebrating history and culture. Cote First Nation recently opened a new space showcasing items going back hundreds of years, once used in the early years of the nation's history. Regina has the details.
On Friday, Cote First Nation opened its new museum, located inside the Chief Gabriel Cote Education Complex.
You know, it's very humble, knowing that a lot of our artifacts that represent our culture have returned home.
Corey Cadot is the man behind the museum. He says the story began with a phone call.
A lady that used to live around here back in the early 1900s, she's 86 now, but she called me and she had some old artifacts.
In his excitement, he wrote a couple of articles to the local paper that caught the attention of future donors, such as the Western Development Museum.
It just, once one thing happened, all the other things started happening, and as you look around you today, it just all came together just like that.
The museum showcases tools and garments, but his most cherished artifact is a stone hammer.
Just like I have a special connection to it because it is made over 500 years ago when one of my ancestors made it and used it and lived and survived with it. So it's pretty cool.
Chief Cody hopes that the museum will bring people together.
This kind of gives us an opportunity to build partnerships with not only our nation, but other nations and even the towns and the cities, is that we can share our history and knowledge with one another so that we can understand one another.
Cote already has plans for some interactive expansion.
Where that you're just going to be able to push a button and one of our language speakers and our elders are going to be telling the stories in our language about what you're looking at and what you're seeing.
This is yet another step Cote First Nation is taking to reclaim their culture and their language. The rest, as they say, is history. Regina Pats, CTV News, Cote First Nation.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Still ahead, Liberal MP Chrystia Freeland resigns from cabinet, focusing on the rebuilding of Ukraine and saying goodbye to the Sundance Kid.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Longtime Cabinet Minister Chrystia Freeland is quitting cabinet again, but instead of because of Justin Trudeau, she's leaving Mark Carney's inner circle. Freeland is set to serve as Canada's new special representative to help with the reconstruction of Ukraine. Mike Couture reports.
Chrystia Freeland isn't stepping down as an MP yet, saying in a statement she won't run in the next election. A source familiar with the appointment says Freeland will work directly with the Prime Minister on the rebuilding of Ukraine. Chrystia Freeland left her final cabinet meeting accompanied by Prime Minister Mark Carney, signaling an amicable departure. Details of her new job only came in a statement from Carney saying, "I have asked Chrystia to serve as Canada's new special representative for the reconstruction of Ukraine." A source speaking on background says Freeland will work with Ukrainian leaders to rebuild its economy, an effort she championed under the Trudeau government as well.
The work that Chrystia will lead on Ukraine will be deeply impactful, not just for the war, but for Canada's national security.
Freeland has been a member of Parliament for 12 years, serving under Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, handling key portfolios like international trade and foreign affairs. She also led the negotiation for the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement.
She's had literally every tough assignment there is in government, and she's done it, with extraordinary flair, and she's done a great job.
In 2020, Freeland became Canada's first ever female finance minister. 4 years later, she resigned from Trudeau's cabinet with a blistering letter criticizing the Prime Minister and costly political gimmicks, a move that led to Trudeau's own resignation less than a month later. Freeland ran for the Liberal leadership, but came in a distant second to Mark Carney. In a statement, she thanked her constituents and praised the current Prime Minister, saying Mark Carney is a unifier in a time of crisis, and I have absolute confidence in his ability to lead us through it. Ontario's Premier also praised her time in politics.
She's always a friend. I talk to her almost daily, bi-daily, and she's a good person, and she'll do a great job over in Ukraine, and I support her all the way.
Late this afternoon, we learned who will fill the void in cabinet. The minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade, Dominic LeBlanc, will now take over on internal trade. And the transport file will be handled by Government House Leader Steve McKinnon. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
At this moment, a vigil is being held outside the legislative building for Charlie Kirk. The man accused in his assassination, Tyler Robinson, could face the death penalty in Utah.
I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime.
Robinson faces a total of 7 charges, including one for aggravated murder. Because Robinson is facing the death penalty, he will be held in a Utah County jail without bail. A New York judge has dismissed terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione in the state's case over the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The judge did, however, keep the state's second-degree murder charges. Mangione's lawyers had argued that the New York case and a parallel federal death penalty case amounted to double jeopardy, but the judge rejected that argument. This was Mangione's first court appearance in the state case since February. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to multiple in connection with the December 4th, 2024 killing of the healthcare executive. And another tough day for the entertainment industry. Robert Redford, the movie star who went on to reinvent himself as director, producer, and the brains behind the prestigious Sundance Film Festival, passed away today at the age of 89. Andrea Case has more.
There are movie stars, and then there was Charles Robert Redford Jr. Born in Santa Monica, California in 1936, his acting career began on television in 1959. He moved on to Broadway, and then came the movies. His good looks cemented his leading man status. But Redford was more than just a pretty face and turned down acting roles which he thought would stereotype him.
Well, that ought to do it. Use enough dynamite there, Butch?
Robert Redford was someone who I think wasn't always given credit for his enormous talent as an actor simply because he was too good looking. He had the Brad Pitt syndrome that people, I think, for a while just refused to take him as seriously as he deserved to be taken as an actor. But then you look at those films and you place them back to back to back. You see how different they all are, and you see that the common link is Robert Redford.
Marvin, what do we do now?
He made his directorial debut with the family drama Ordinary People in 1980. It garnered him his first Academy Award. Redford stood for many issues, his star power attracting attention to causes which included political activism, the environment, Native American and Indigenous peoples' rights, and LGBTQ rights. In 1981, he created the Sundance Institute, named after his Sundance character, and in 1985, the Sundance Film Festival was born, taking place where he lived in Utah in the middle of winter.
Our job and our role is to create a space and a platform to bring new voices and new ways of seeing the world using independent film.
Redford was married twice and had 4 children and 7 grandchildren. He died in his sleep this morning at home in Utah, surrounded by those he loved. Robert Redford was 89.
Coming up, a new statue at the RCMP Heritage Site honoring an officer's best friend.
Watch The Amazing Race Canada tonight at 9 on CTV. It's a race to the finish line, and tonight we will find out who wins. We'll sit down with them first thing tomorrow.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what you can expect heading into the middle of this weekend, even actually for the weekend. I mean, taking a look outside through our sky cam, it was another above seasonal day. We did get into the 20s. Currently, we're at 23 degrees, warmed up to about 25 late this afternoon. And the winds did start to pick up late this afternoon as well, gusting up to about 30 kilometers an hour. However, since then, we're starting to see them come down, currently sitting just over 20 kilometers an hour. Now, I don't really have much to show you on the radar satellite. I haven't really had much activity when it comes to any type of storm activity, precipitation, anything like that. Even winds, they've been pretty calm for the day. We did have some of that cloud cover earlier. We had it mostly in the morning. Many parts of southern Saskatchewan started out their day with cloudy conditions. Since then, cleared up. We saw mostly sunny conditions for many parts of the province, including southern Saskatchewan. And we will see a little bit of precipitation as we head into this evening, mostly staying in the parkland, even down into the southeast. And as we head into tomorrow, that will continue. You can see a little bit of that rain continuing to nestle into the southeast, and then more cloud cover rolling in on Friday. Now, Thursday, we could expect to see mostly cloudy conditions for much of Thursday as well, but most of that rain, scattered showers really expected to stay in the eastern portion of the province. Not a whole lot when it comes to rainfall totals. Last I checked, Estevan could see anywhere about 3 millimeters of rain, about 1 to 2 millimeters for the Weyburn area, and further up just north of the Yorkton area could see a couple millimeters. So not a whole lot as of right now expecting to come through. Temperatures remaining within that average range, if not warmer tomorrow. 22 and sunny for La Loche, 23 and sunny for Lloydminster, 20 and a mix of sun and cloud for Prince Albert, and 19 with a mix of sun and cloud for La Ronge. Warmer tonight in La Ronge at 13 degrees. Again, the average is about 5-6 degrees. So many areas will still see warmer than average temperatures tonight as well as tomorrow. 6 for North Battleford, sunny, and 23 tomorrow for North Battleford, 21 and mainly sunny for Saskatoon. Yorkton, as we saw on that map, could see a little bit of scattered precipitation tonight into the early morning hours of tomorrow, leaving mostly cloudy conditions for the area tomorrow at 18 degrees. The southwest sunny and above seasonal. 24 for Maple Creek, 22 for Swift Current and Moose Jaw. A mix of sun and cloud, 22 degrees. In the southeast, again, still seeing a little bit more of that cloud cover, 21 degrees for Weyburn, Estevan, and Assiniboia, and a mix of sun and cloud for many areas as well. So that'll continue as we get into, like I said, Thursday, Friday. We'll see heavier cloud cover rolling in, leaving a lot of central and southeastern Saskatchewan mostly cloudy, and then eventually throughout the day getting into the southwest. But tomorrow, well, even tonight, clear conditions for Regina. 10 degrees is the low, and then tomorrow warming up to 21 with a mix of sun and clouds. Winds picking up slightly to about 30 kilometers an hour. If we take a look, I have a feeling I forgot to remove a logo. Let's take a look at what we can expect. It's not even moving for me. Okay. You know what?
You know what, just did an update.
What? Okay, well, I can tell you right now it's going to be cloudy on Thursday and Friday. Temperature.
There you go.
A mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Cloudy. I was right. Cloudy on Thursday, Friday. 17 degrees both days. 22 a mix of sun and cloud. Let's try this again. 22 a mix of sun and cloud on Saturday. And then when we will start to see a bit of a warm up here, 25 on Sunday, well above seasonal. And then we'll slowly start to see those temperatures come back down into seasonal range starting your work week next week. Mainly sunny conditions and in the low 20s. You know, looking at last year's temperatures, until the end of September, there were still a couple of days where we saw those temperatures getting into the 30s. So I'm not saying it's completely gone, but the official start of fall is September 22nd. So.
Okay. Excellent.
Are you okay?
I was just looking for a clicker so that in case you needed it, I could trade it with you.
I don't know what happened. I was pressing the button. Okay, I'm done here.
All right. Thank you for being. A new statue was unveiled at the RCMP Heritage Site on Saturday afternoon that honors their four-legged officers. Damien Smith has more.
A celebration of man's best friend at the RCMP Heritage Center on Saturday. After years of work, an unveiling was held for the Hero by My Side statue, a permanent reminder of the contributions of police service dogs. Gary Carlson, a retired RCMP member, came up with the idea and found an artist in Alberta to create the sculpture.
Found an amazing artist who did the sculpture, Diane Anderson, out of Alberta, and a 3-year process of getting this done all the way down to getting it, picking it up just last week from the foundry outside of Calgary.
The RCMP has been using German Shepherds as service dogs since the 1930s. Police pioneer John Causey was one of the first RCMP dog handlers. He also kept these dogs at his home. His youngest son, Bruce, developed a depending bond with the breed.
I lived in Malta for a year and I lived in Singapore for a year, and that's the only time in my life I did not have a dog. I'm on my 9th and 10th German Shepherd right now in the last 70 years.
Almost 100 years later, even with access to the latest technology, these dogs still pose a very important trait, being able to pick up on scents. They've saved thousands of people in vulnerable positions. Just over in Kamloops a few nights prior, a young boy was found safe thanks to a police dog.
A young boy lost 11 o'clock at night. They couldn't find him. The dog was there very, very quickly, picked up the track and found him. So the question is, what would we have done without that?
Even though Bruce wasn't in the police force, he knows what it's like to have a hero by his side.
If you have not had a German Shepherd beside you, I can't explain it to you. It's a 4-month-old pup or a 12-year-old white-muzzled veteran. They've got your back. They, you know, you've read this before, but they do literally love you more than they love themselves.
The statue now stands among other pillars of the forest, which is found along the Princess Royal Walk at the RCMP Heritage Center. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead, they might have a lot of young talent on their team, but the Regina Pats are not content with just building for the future.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
After finishing next to last in the Eastern Conference last season, the Regina Pats are hoping a mixture of young talent and some roster continuality will yield better results this year. Jacob Carr has more.
The Regina Pats went through plenty of roster turnover last season, leading to just 16 regulation wins in 68 games played. They're hoping this year is a different story, as some of the players acquired last season continue to gel with the unit and get acclimated to each other.
I think we're going to be a sleeper team this year. People won't really understand how good we've gotten over the past couple months of all of our summers, and I think we'll surprise a lot of teams and organizations.
Of course, it doesn't hurt to have 2 top 3 draft picks ready to suit up for the squad. Despite the birth certificates of rookies Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh saying born in 2010, both are expected to make an immediate impact.
Without the face mask, you wouldn't know that they were 15. They play a pretty hard game. They play an honest game, and you know, I think they both have been in the spotlight throughout their young career, and saying that for a 15-year-old is hard to say, but so I don't think the moment's too big for them.
And it isn't just the Pats coaching staff that marvels at the talent of the dynamic duo. Multi-year veterans in the WHL are already singing their praises.
Oh, they're unreal. I mean, seeing them on the ice and the plays they make, and their IQ is just great. They're always in the right spot, and I can find them, and they can find me. They're fun to work with.
The Pats brass say that the infusion of young talent combined with veteran leadership has the team looking to make some noise this season.
A lot of those guys are back already, you know, went through that last year. Feel we're a little bit ahead of the game with some of our systems and that with the returning players. So short term would be to, you know, start off really good and then, you know, accumulate enough points throughout the year to get to the playoffs.
Regina starts their season with back-to-back road games against Swift Current and Medicine Hat before their home opener September 26th versus Prince Albert. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A hockey official from Yorkton returned home last week to officiate a preseason WHL game at Westland Arena, but he not focusing on his past glory days. Instead, his future is front and center, named a linesman for the upcoming Winter Olympics in Italy. Regina has the details.
Usually, the focus of a hockey game is the 2 teams. But on Thursday in Yorkton, the spotlight was on the referee.
Yeah, born and raised in Yorkton. This is where my officiating career began, was here in this rink and at the Kinsman down the road. So
a few years ago, he was hired by the Western Hockey League, the same league that brought him in for a preseason game in his hometown between the Prince Albert Raiders and Regina Pats.
And through that, I've had some opportunities to work Memorial Cup championships and different international tournaments, including U18 World Championships, the U20 World Juniors, and as well as the World Men's Championships.
His next stop is the 2026 Olympic Winter Games in Italy. Yorkton's hockey community taking a moment to celebrate Tarrington's success.
I'll be the only official on the male side from Saskatchewan. There are 3 other females from Saskatchewan that'll be representing Canada at the Olympics as well.
Young officials in Yorkton are looking forward to seeing one of their own, calling games on the world stage.
I used to play hockey, and then I want to take the next step because I just wanted to see the other side of things, and so I became a ref, and I've never looked back since.
And I'll try my best to do what I can, get up to what league I can, like he did, going through the Olympics. He's worked his way up there from hard work, so I'm going to try my best.
The Winter Olympics begin in early February. Regina Pats, CTV News, Yorkton.
Coming up, combining the past with the present on a farm near Radville.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast heading into, you know what? Things are going well for me. I can tell you that for certain. It's because our system's doing an update. And I know Lee makes fun of me for this, so I will just tell you what I can tell you. Many areas in rural Saskatchewan tomorrow will see those temperatures in and around the seasonal range, about anywhere from 18 to about 23 degrees. We won't see as much cloud cover in the central part of the province, but as we get into eastern Saskatchewan, you will see a little bit more cloud cover in southeast Saskatchewan. More sunshine expected in the southwest, and temperatures will, like I said, stay within that seasonal range. And as we head into the end of the week, we'll see some of those temperatures start to cool down a little with more cloud cover rolling in. I can do that. See, I knew this would work. Okay, well, let's take a look at Lanigan, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Lanigan, located about 115 kilometers east of Saskatoon. 20 degrees is the expected high tomorrow. Mainly sunny conditions with winds up to about 30 kilometers an hour.
The incidents happened at two separate locations, one near the Golden Mile Mall and another on the 4500 block of Albert Street. A woman would distract the victim by either helping them load their groceries or asking them questions, while a man would steal their cards from their handbag or purse. The man is described to be in his 40s with a medium build, scruffy facial hair, a black baseball cap, dark t-shirt, beige or white pants, a black sweater wrapped around his waist, and white runners. The woman is described as being in her 40s with a medium build, a white t-shirt, beige pants, a dark baseball cap, black purse, blue runners, and long, light brown hair.
I'm Belton Johnson, board member with Regina Crime Stoppers. Did you know Crime Stoppers would pay up to $2,000 cash rewards for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
A new tool to protect Saskatchewan's youngest residents from a serious respiratory virus will soon be available. At the start of October, all newborns in the province will be offered an RSV vaccine before leaving the hospital. Carla Shinkaruk has more.
Her beautiful little face.
Tara Johnson's daughter got respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, when she was a small child.
She had really bad lungs when she was a baby. She had lots of pneumonias. I mean, like 11 pneumonias a year. Like, she was hospitalized chronically.
Her daughter is now 15 and still battles effects of that childhood illness. With a new milestone RSV immunization starting in Saskatchewan in a few weeks, she wants parents to know how important it is.
I wish that we had had this available to us. It would have prevented us from going to the hospital once a month for 5 months, for 3 years, to get shots to protect her from RSV.
For the first time, beginning October 1st, every baby born in Saskatchewan will be eligible for an immunization designed to protect them from serious lung infections caused by RSV, free of charge. The program will run into March, lasting during the months when RSV activity is at its peak.
So the fact that we're getting geared up to try to prevent this and have an impact is very exciting and very timely.
RSV is one of the most common reasons babies are hospitalized during the winter months, often causing bronchiolitis or pneumonia, filling pediatric wards with sick kids mostly under 2 years old.
Be hospitalized for several days. Some of them have to go to the intensive care unit, have to be put on a ventilator, so it's had a huge impact.
The antibody shot will be given at 17 birthing sites by nurses across the province with parents' consent. With so many remote areas here, Clausen sees this helping to lower the number of patients being transported to hospitals, saving the cost for that travel also.
It's much more complex and difficult to get them to a place where they get the care that they need. In our province, this can have a really important impact.
Other provinces like Ontario and Quebec have already implemented the program, with places like Australia and parts of Europe a few years ahead. Carla Shinkrug, CTV News, Saskatoon.
New technology is always changing our lives to the point it can be hard to remember how you did things before. That's also true during harvest, and one South Saskatchewan farm gave Wayne Mantika a look at how far combines have come over the last 6 decades.
Farmers invest millions of dollars in harvest equipment. However, the combine attracting the most attention in this formation goes back to the 1960s.
My dad used to own a combine just like this. He bought it in 1962. I remember him telling me that it was the same. The price was the same as the number, $9,200.
Larry Verhelst recently found a Massey Ferguson Super 92 at an auction. It brought back memories, so he picked it up for $1,500.
It had been stored in a steel building for the last 45 years. And it was the motor was totally seized. So
the restoration was a family affair.
Take the wheels off and a bunch of shields, and there was a lot of work to get this engine out. Me and our hired man and my nephews and brother. A couple days to get it out, a couple days to get it back in. So
after adding a bit of oil, it was ready to go.
In these spray cans, I put a half a jug of oil and just used it and sprayed it on all the bearings and just held it there for a while, and everything got lubricated and took all the noise out of it. It was pretty good.
Of course, the old combine is a lot smaller than the machines used today.
I could do maybe 50, 60 acres in a day. Now you can, with a new machine, you can do it in how long, Ross? 2-3 hours you can do 40, 60 acres.
It's like driving a classic convertible with the top down. The old combine isn't practical for today's farming, but the family says it has never seen their father happier. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, near Radville.
Stock markets both on the way down. The TSX dropped by 115 points. The Dow Jones by 125 points. Canadian dollar, it went down 0.02% to 72.80 cents U.S. Commodity front, gold up $10.99. West Texas Intermediate crude up $1.22, while Western Canadian Select crude is up 68 cents. And gas in Regina has dropped a little bit. It is commonly found for $1.35.9 cents per liter. Coming up tonight, we've got Celebrity Weakest Link. That's right. A lot of Celebrity Jeopardy, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Now it's Celebrity Weakest Link. Goodbye. High potential, and then you've got The Amazing Race Canada. Final episode. We'll find out who wins just before 10 o'clock. Big Bang Theory E-Talk, and then 11 o'clock national, 11:30 local news. Now, the Royal Canadian Mint held a coin exchange in a South Regina post office today.
That's right. The public was invited to trade cash for the new $2 commemorative circulation coin celebrating the life and art of Daphne Ojig. People could exchange their coins dollar for dollar, and if you didn't get a coin today, you can watch for them in your change as they are now in regular circulation. Other commemorative coins were also available, including the $1 150th anniversary of the Supreme Court of Canada.
We've taken one of her pieces and made it a colored piece onto our circulations coins. So what we've done is we're going to be issuing 3 million of these coins in circulation. 2 million of them will be colored, and 1 million of them will be in a non-colored version.
Yeah. So it's always nice to find those ones that come into circulation. I don't know if I have one of the darker toonies. They almost look black. At first I thought it was dirty, and then Cole told me, no, it's a commemorative toonie.
What was it commemorative for?
I don't know.
Don't know, huh? Is that the clicker's fault as well, or?
Listen, that was not my fault. Technology doesn't like me.
It was doing an update.
It was.
And updates affect things. Absolutely, I agree with you. No football tonight.
Okay, bye.